To send emails from Flask, we will use the Flask Mail extension, which is a wrapper around the SMTP Python package. We first need to install it with pip. Before we configure this, let me just introduce you to a simple SMTP server named MailHog. This is a mail catcher-like server built in Go, and it runs on multiple platforms. It has nothing to do with Flask directly, but we'll need it to test emails. Follow the instructions to install it on your own system. I installed it directly with Go, but you can even just download the executable and start it. I'll start it up in a separate terminal tab. The server is now up and ready to send and receive emails. Now let's import the mail class from the Flask Mail extension. We'll declare this variable inside of the application package init file. Then we can initialize it inside of the application factory. The mail instance will now have access to these configuration options. Since we are using MailHog, we just need to define the mail server and the mail port. This is the default localhost configuration for the MailHog server. You can see the MailHog HTTP interface if you go to the localhost port 8025. This is an email inbox in which you will see all of the sent emails, just like you do it in your own email provider. The difference is all of the emails sent from our app will be sent here and not in the email provided in the user accounts. This is good because I don't need to create real emails just to test out the account activation. Now is the time to create the email sending methods. I will do that inside of the new emails module. Import the message class from the Flask Mail package, and we'll also need the mail instance we initialized in the application factory. The main sending method will be this one, sendMail. This is a generic method. ToParameter is the receiver email address. Then we have the subject of an email and the template for showing it. I'll put everything inside of this content dictionary and pass it to the createMessage method. This method will create a message with the help of the message class and the provided content. Message body property defines the email presentation in the textual form. Both of these templates will be generated with the renderTemplate method. I'll also pass the keyword arguments taken from the sendMail parameter up here. These two asterisks will unpack this keywords dictionary into an array of parameters. Once the message is created, we can use the send method to send it. Don't forget to import the render template. The reason why I divided this process in two methods will be explained later when we get to background jobs. Now we can use this sendMail method to create the sendActivationMail method. This method takes in the user instance. We extract the email and define the subject of an email and the path to the email template, which we'll create. Keyword arguments I want to set additionally will be the username, role, and the activation link. Activation link will point to the Activate Account view and it will have the user's activation token. The external attribute will generate the full HTTP address, not just the path to the Activate Account view. We need this because this link will be opened from the email provider, not from our own website. Import the URL4 method too. If you're paying attention, you'll notice that we need to create this confirm template and also the Activate Account view. I will create the emails auth subdirectories for the email templates. You can copy the confirm HTML template from the step-by-step directory found in the exercise files. The template is simple. We greet the user and point him to the activation link. This activation link is created inside of the emails module. I also included this special message based on the user's role on the site because why not? The text version of the email will look similar but without the HTML tags. Now it's time to define what happens when the user clicks on the activation link from the email. Let's define the Activate Account view. The activation link will hold a token and we can get it from this view argument here. First, let's check if the user is already active. If he is, this makes no sense, so we'll redirect him to the home page. If he is not active, let's try to activate him. If the token is correct, we'll flash the success message and send him to the home page. This activate method will be defined inside of the user model. We can use the checkToken method to see if the token belongs to this activation hash in the database. If the token is correct, let's make the user active and remove the activation hash. Add the changes to the session and return true. Otherwise, return false. Before we get back, I want to check one more thing. I want to calculate how many days have passed from the creation of the activation token. Take the difference between the current time and the activation sent at column in the database. The user can be activated only if he uses the activation token in the span of 2 days. Otherwise, the token is expired. Now, the only thing left to do is to import the sendActivationMail method from the email module. We can then use it here in the registration view to send the activation email. Don't forget to pass the registered user as a parameter. We will test this out in the next lesson.